You are tuned into a special player spotlight interview on the CS Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the CS Podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible, bringing you the names that you need to know first. Since 2002, visit NFLDraftBible.com. I'm your guys' host, Chris Shanafelt, and joining the show now for a Players Spotlight interview is 2016 NFL Draft prospect, wide receiver out of Division III's Ohio Northern University. He was actually named a member of the 2015 D3Football.com All-America team. He's Devin Price. And, Devin, we appreciate you taking some time to chat this evening. Now, I know that you're now just getting back from Los Angeles. You're able to participate in the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. Describe what this past week was like for you, being able to practice and play in one of the top all-star games in the nation.
Thank you for having me. This past week has been a great experience. I learned a lot. Was coached by Hall of Famer coaches, so overall, I learned a lot, and I was very thankful for the opportunity.
And heading down to Los Angeles, what were some of the things that you had in mind that you wanted to achieve, that you wanted to show in front of the NFL scouts that were in attendance, throughout the practices and the game itself?
I mean, the biggest thing I wanted to show and that I knew I had to prove was could I compete overall with the bigger school players coming from Division III. That's what I had to be able to show. The next thing I wanted to show was that I could get off the press release. I didn't really see a lot of that in college, so having the opportunity to show that I could get off press release and do the same things I was doing before was what I wanted to prove.
And you know what? That's one thing I absolutely love about the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. I mean, we see it sometimes with the Shrine Game. We see it sometimes with the Senior Bowl. But it seems like every single year, the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl, they invite a handful of small schoolers, obviously like yourself. But even every year, it's not like we see a guy from the Division III ranks playing the NFLPA Bowl. What was your reaction when you got that invite?
I was very happy. I was excited, thankful, and I just wanted to represent Division III the right way. I wanted to be able to represent it, so therefore someone later on down the line can get that same opportunity that I received.
And obviously, here we are a couple of days removed from the game, Devin, and looking back, I mean, you had what was probably the play of the game as you showed great concentration by staying with the ball and was somehow, some way able to catch it between your legs. Talk about that play. What was the reaction that you have gotten from that play over the last couple of days, and how were you able to execute it?
Well, honestly, the play wasn't supposed to go that way. It was a routine catch, and I just took my eye off it. I had kind of peeked up to the upfield safety. I wanted to try getting some yak yards. I wanted to make a big play. And when I did that, I lost the focus of the ball. So the ball fell between my legs, and I was able to concentrate and catch it with one hand. After, a lot of people just said congratulations on the field, and there was like a small review, I believe. And then I wasn't sure if they counted it or was it because on that same play there was a penalty. And then after a lot of, my phone was going crazy with the catch and a lot of replays. And just, everybody telling me congratulations that the play did count. So I would rather rather catch it regular and get some yak yards. But it was a good play, and I'm thankful that I was able to have the concentration and catch the ball.
Yeah. I mean, they say any publicity is good publicity. Obviously, that's the case when it comes to that play. I mean, in the end, like you said, it was a completion, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Now, the team that you were on, the national team, you guys did end up winning the game 18-17, and as you mentioned a little bit ago, you were able to be coached by some great minds of just the game of football in general. Mike Martz was the national team's head coach, and looking at the receiver coaches, Hall of Famer Andre Reed and former NFL Rams and Lions wide receiver Zahir Hakeem. What were some of the things you're able to take away from being coached by those great minds throughout the week?
One of the biggest things I learned was being prepared. but being prepared and taking notes. Andre Reed, he was a Hall of Famer, and Coach Oz played 11 years. So the biggest thing they taught me was to always be prepared and always to take mental notes and to take notes in film. I mean, they could run the same play they had the same playbook for 7 years, and then each film session they would find something better or how to get better. And that's the biggest thing I learned was always being prepared and always wanting to develop to find new ways to get better, even though you're running the same plays.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, Andre Reed, a guy that himself came from a small school in Kutztown, a Division II program. So I got to think that's really that's got to be really a boost to your confidence to not only obviously know about Andre Reed and the great career that he's had, but to actually be able to meet him and then be with him for a week and learn from him. I got to think it was really cool. Now being from Ohio Northern University, Devin, I got to think that it was pretty surreal to go up against some of the guys from some of the top programs in the country. I mean, you had guys from USC, Arizona, Wisconsin, against some of the top programs in the country. Did anybody specific, whether they were on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball, whether they were on your team, the opposing team, did anybody specific open your eyes at all?
Obviously everybody there had talent. I guess the one kid that I wasn't really familiar with was the Washington receiver. He was pretty good and pretty quick. Mm-hmm. It was pretty good to interact and learn and catch some footballs from Trayvon Boykin. So that was pretty good to play with him and to be around a guy who was probably gonna get drafted pretty high. But other than that, it was a great experience. A lot of things. Just getting treated like a professional, a lot of things are different from Division III level just as far as locker rooms and everything else. So all of it was a great experience.
And as you said, I mean, everybody was down there for a reason. Everybody down there can play. And a lot of these guys, like you said, they will be hearing their name called on draft day and even afterwards as an undrafted free agent, signing that contract and playing at the next level. Now, I know that most, if not all, NFL teams were in attendance at one point or another. Most of the scouts I know stay for a couple of practices, and then come game day, they're no longer there. What was some of the feedback that you received from some of the scouts?
Each scout told my agent, or some even told me I was getting better each and every day. So for me, they wanted to see me be able to take the coaching from a Division III level and compete at a faster pace or up against Division I players. And each day I was getting better and I was feeling more like myself out there. First I had to learn the playbook and learn the terminology, and it allowed me to play faster and play more like myself. So the biggest feedback I got was that I was proving myself, and I was told from scouts that I did have a high grade. So that was a good thing to hear, and to see that I was proving myself and showing that I can hang with the bigger school players was something I always wanted to prove.
Yeah, absolutely. Something you certainly want to hear throughout the week is, you keep on getting better, and as you get more and more familiar with the playbook and obviously some of your teammates, I know sometimes it's pretty hard to gel with some of the those guys, especially the quarterback to wide receiver connection. So something you definitely want to hear. Sounds great. Again, he is Devin Price, the wide receiver out of Ohio Northern University, coming off of a big week down in Los Angeles for the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl, joining me here on the CS podcast, presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible. And Devin, doing some research for this interview, I see that you tore your ACL 6 months before your senior season. Talk about the rehab process that you had to go through, and what did you learn about yourself during that time?
It was a very hard time, honestly. When I found out, I just was really devastated. I wanted to have a big senior year, and I wanted to obviously get to this point I'm at right now. And going into it, I've had teammates because of ACL, and I know it takes like a year. So the recovery was just a lot of hard work, honestly. It was just grinding and having a mindset and a goal of what I wanted to do. Once I found out I was having surgery, I just told my teammates, told my family, hey, I'm going to do everything I can to get back for the very first game. I told my mom I didn't want to miss one game. I told my coaching staff I didn't want to miss one game my senior year. We only played 10 games in Division III. And we have to play in a very tough conference. So I didn't want to get a loss or any of that and not be able to continue my career. So over the summer I was going 5 days a week for about 3 hours of rehab. I had a surgery on Friday, and I went to rehab on that Monday back at school. And I had great treatment both at school and at home. So it was a very long process, but I had a great support system, and I thank my family and my teammates for that.
And you know what, talking to some guys in the past that have, you know, torn their ACL or had a serious knee injury, it sounds as if a solid support system could really go a long way. And you know, that's not only for a recovery process, but that's for a, you know, collegiate football career as well. I mean, I don't think people really realize, you know, how dedicated you have to be to the sport. And, you know, there's only 1% of collegiate athletes that actually get a shot in the National Football League. So talk about that support system, a little bit more of yours, if you could, Devin. I mean, you know, how has that support system helped you out overall throughout these last, you know, 3-4 years of yours in college?
I'm going to have a great support system. It starts with my mom. It's like my backbone. She's my world. She keeps me very motivated, and she just tells me the right things to do, whether I'm up or down. And throughout my injury and throughout my career, she's always been the one person that's always been there for me. Next biggest probably person would be my Coach Paul, my head coach at Ohio Northern. He was there for me through tough times. I mean, I had a kid at an early age, so he helped me through that process and was a mentor through that. And then friends and family, I keep a small circle, and so through my teammates and my friends back at home, everybody, you know, motivates me. Even my teammates still call me to tell me congratulations and just things like that. So I'm very thankful for my support system, but it's not. I definitely know it's not all by myself. I have a great support system.
Mm-hmm. And again, that support system helped you get through a very devastating injury. And I got to think that ACL injury gave you more motivation to be great. It certainly sounds that way. And rarely do you hear about anybody returning to the football field, you know, 6 or 7 months after tearing their ACL. But that is exactly what you did. You went on to lead the Ohio Athletic Conference, 89 receptions for over 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns, Devin. You also ran for over 200 yards and another score. Can you describe this past season of yours? How does it compare to your first 3 years at Ohio Northern? And I know this may sound crazy, but do you think that knee injury may have helped you out in the long run?
Yeah, it did, honestly. The knee injury showed me a lot about myself, mental toughness, adversity, getting back up, all of those tough things that you deal with when having an ACL surgery, no matter when it is. This past year was very great for my team, for myself, and I was just very thankful. I think a small part of my injury helped motivate my team. To this day, I still have teammates say, man, I can't believe you made it back and things like that soon at least. So my team seeing me coming back and fighting, we came in with a great senior class. So this past year, not only did my stats improve, but my running back, he rushed for 1,530 touchdowns. I had 2 all-conference linemen, all-conference DBs. So as a team, we all improved. So my stats went up, but I had a great cast around me throughout my time at ONU. And this past year was great. We made it to the playoffs, second round. We beat the number 11 team in the country. So this was definitely the best year that I've had at ONU, and it came with just a lot of adversity as freshmen, and we all did it together.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like a lot of hard work was paid off this past year. You mentioned your teammate, your running back, who had a hell of a season. Talk about the importance of blocking as a receiver. I mean, you know, I already said it, you know, 89 receptions for over 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns. You know, that's great, but I feel in order to be a great receiver, you have to love how to block, and obviously it sure sounds like you were more than willing to block for your teammate of yours.
Oh, yeah, my running back is like my best friend. He actually just was out in California with me at the All-Star game, so I just wanted to see him have a good year. So if I had to run downfield 30 yards and get an extra block, I would do that. And I always told him, you know, whenever you get through the hole, I'm coming with you. You know, we're going to score this touchdown together, whether it was the starting running back or, for whatever reason, the backup running back. Overall, I think we all cared about each other, though. It wasn't just my blocking. I had other great blocking receivers that helped me on bubble screens. But I definitely know that blocking is the key to be seen, and that's what I took into the NFLPA game. Actually, I wanted to show I can block and put that on film.
Again, he's Devin Price, the top Division III wide receiver in the country, getting set for the 2016 NFL Draft. Joining me here on the CS podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible. And Devin, when you first decided to attend Ohio Northern and play for the Polar Bears, by the way, a hell of a mascot, did you ever think that you would finish your collegiate career as the school's all-time leader in receptions, all-time leader in reception yards, kickoff return yards, and have a shot to play in the National Football League?
It was a goal of mine, but I didn't know I guess, could the dream come true? All of those things you mentioned were definitely a goal of mine, and I only really told a select few of people. I mean, I told my head coach, I told my mom, and I told my running back, Justin Magazine. Not many people knew or even believed that that could happen from Division III. And I just went through the process, continued to work hard every day. In the off season, we used to go crazy and work out 3 times a day and do several things. So that was a goal of mine, and I was just, honestly, my mom would send me, hey, you're this far away, and you need to do these type of things to get there. So just, again, that support system kept me motivated. But, yeah, I definitely believed it because I had the right mindset.
And you know what, this whole journey of yours, really diving into it and obviously being able to chat with you, Devin, it really reminds me of a guy that I chatted with last year by the name of Dante Dye, another Division III wide receiver from Heidelberg University. He was, I believe it was his junior year, maybe his it was early on in his collegiate career, I believe it was. He also suffered a knee injury, tore his ACL, was able to come back better than ever, had a monster senior season, wasn't invited to any collegiate bowl games or anything like that, but did make a lot of noise in the regional combine, was invited to the super regional combine, made noise there. Obviously went undrafted, but signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and, was ultimately put on the active roster and, had a fantastic rookie season, especially when you think about the journey that he's been through. So, kind of being able to talk with you, it's really, bringing some flashbacks to my interview from last year with Dante Dye, again, receiver from Heidelberg University, another, Ohio Division III program. And talk about the small school label. I mean, is that something that you embrace coming from the Division III program in Ohio Northern?
Yeah, coming from Ohio Northern is a great thing, not only with athletics, but I know as far as academics at Ohio Northern, they're very great. As far as athletics, when I came to the NFLPA, I wanted to represent myself and my school, but also the OAC and Division III. A lot of guys did like the sticker exchange things and things like that. And honestly, my mindset was I didn't want to do the sticker exchange because I wanted to have my helmet on there just with ONU. So on one side I had ONU, and on the other side I had a Toledo Rocket, which is where I'm from, Toledo. And I just wanted to leave my sticker on there and let it be seen and showcase ONU and represent it very well.
And I think it's safe to say that you certainly did that. I'm glad you actually said that because I wasn't exactly sure how that goes. But as you mentioned, as you just said, I mean, it was optional whether or not you'd like to add stickers to your helmet or not. I was very curious about that. But great to see that, you went out there and obviously represented Ohio Northern as well as Toledo, Ohio, at the NFLPA Bowl down in Los Angeles. Just a few more questions for you, and then I'll let you go, Devin. I really do appreciate your time. What do you think will be the toughest part about making the transition from the college game to the pros, and do you think you've seen any of that this past week playing in the NFLPA Bowl?
The toughest thing probably will always be know that every day your job's on the line. You have to come to work every day, the blue-collar mentality. And it's always working hard. I mean, you never know when your time is going to be called. Next man up is what I was taught at the NFLPA. So it's knowing the playbook, knowing every position, because next man up, you could be the next man up at any time. And I definitely learned that at the NFLPA. I mean, guys went down, and then you were moved back up to either whether it was special teams or offense or whatever it was. So the biggest thing I learned and what I have to be prepared for is always going hard and never being complacent or settle once I reach my goal on being on an NFL roster.
And now that the NFLPA Bowl is behind you, I mean, what's next for you in this process? I mean, are we just training for the combine?
Yes, I'm in Dallas currently training at Michael Johnson Performance. So I'm just training for my pro day, and I plan to have, run fast and have a great pro day, which, again, would just create more buzz about me, positive buzz about me, and get more teams interested in me. So, therefore, when draft day comes, I can get that phone call.
And will your pro day be at Ohio Northern, or do you have anything set up for any of the other universities around the Ohio area?
No, my pro day will more than likely be at Toledo.
Okay.
My agent, and my head coach are going through that right now. So either Toledo or Bowling Green will be where my pro day will be at.
All right, sounds great. Now, Devin, we're going to finish this interview with something I like to call the 2-minute drill. Some of these questions, I mean, it's going to be rapid fire random questions, just about anything. You ready to knock some of these out?
Yes, I am.
All right, we'll start off with something pretty easy, I think. We'll start off with something pretty simple. Favorite TV show and movie?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Favorite movie would be Paid in Full.
All right. Well, who would you say you model your game after? Is there any specific receiver, whether they're currently playing in the NFL, whether they have already played in the past that you would like to compare yourself to?
Tavon Austin.
All right. So a nice quick receiver that I think a lot of people think he's really just a slot receiver, but he could also do some damage on the outside, and we already know about his special teams ability as well. Let's say you had a plane ticket to travel anywhere you wanted. Now, obviously, coming back from Los Angeles, cannot complain about that. But let's say you were able to travel anywhere you wanted, a free round trip. Where would you be going?
Hawaii.
Okay, sounds great. Los Angeles, Hawaii. I'll take either one. Let's say you had a choice to go 1-on-1 with any defensive back currently playing in the NFL. Who's that going to be?
Probably Richard Sherman.
All right. I just had on a receiver from Purdue, Danny Anthrop, on yesterday, and he said the same thing, Richard Sherman. So my follow-up question is, on the field, we all know about Richard Sherman, how he's a talker and he likes to get inside your head. Are you the same way as a receiver?
Sometimes, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
If they provoke it, you'll give it right back. I like it. Now finish the sentence. If it wasn't for football.
I'm sorry. If it wasn't for football, I wouldn't be able to experience all the things around the U.S.
All right, sounds great. Now, one last question. We'll wrap it up with. Now that we know the Super Bowl matchup, Super Bowl 50, Broncos and Panthers. I got to get a prediction.
I want to go with Cam.
All right, smart. With the Panthers as well. Now, I appreciate it. A hell of a journey. And obviously like to see the success that you had at the NFLPA Bowl. Let's say we have all 32 NFL general managers lined up and listening to this very interview. Why should they want the Ohio Northern University at Devin Price a part of their team?
I bring a lot to the table, special teams, and I can play inside or outside with my speed. So I feel like when I get drafted or get picked up by a team, that I can do a lot of things that a lot of players can't. Versatility.
Mm-hmm. Hey, sounds great. Well, Devin, again, I really do appreciate you taking some time tonight. Again, it was a fantastic time being able to chat with you, and all the best, as you get set for the 2016 NFL Draft.
Thank you very much. Go Ohio Northern Polar Bears.